Nobody saw it coming. Over 6,000 jobs lost in the blink of an eye, and the end of a story spanning over 100 years. A community built around building cars. Andy Cartwright spent more than a decade of his life working at the Longbridge site, and has spent the decades since its closure trying to move on.
Well, I worked, nearly 17 years at the factory. I mean, I'm 50 now, so, but the average age of a rover worker was 40. So to me, it was people like myself who had children, had commitments, houses, and I can't emphasise on that day how sad it was. I mean, I was on a night shift. I got sent home because I was told there was a part shortage. I put the telly on at 1 o'clock and Patricia Hewitt, who was the DTI at the time, told me and my family that I was out of work. I mean, as I said before, as a father of four, it hit me like a sack of spuds. It made me very depressed. I didn't know what to do, and it was just so sad. But then going back into work, back into Rover, it was meeting other guys who had been there longer than me. There was one guy that I worked with who was 10 weeks off retiring. I seen him collapse on the floor. I picked him up. He had tears in his eyes. It made me think, here's me worrying about me. What about my friends? What about my work colleagues? It was like a one big happy family. Now it was just, it was like a family being torn apart.
The news came as a massive shock to the workforce, who had been told just weeks before that the company was set to make a profit for the financial year. Andy's wife Gemma has worked tirelessly to try and help those affected by the closure, but recalls having to help her husband.
We were the family that were actually fighting and saying that we need this for the workers, we need this for the community. But when you actually look at your own family, we were also struggling. And to actually watch your husband break down and to see like the life go from his eyes was horrible. And as a woman, I was like working. I had to take on extra shifts, so the strain was on there, but also to balance my family, and I found that extremely hard.
Andy's been through many jobs since 2005, and now works with children in the local area. But it wasn't just the workers and their families who suffered when MG Rover went into administration.
The closure of the former Rover factory devastated the whole of the West Midlands. I mean, 6,500 people worked there, and I was part of that closure. I was a father of four at the time. It made me very depressed. Luckily, I had a great woman behind me who stood up not just for the workers, but for the community. And that to me is what it's about now. It's about the community. It's about building a better future. Rover was there for 100 years. There's a new town centre coming, as we can all see. Let's hope that brings the work and the prosperity of what the Rover factory gives, because that's what it gives to me. It gives our hope to people.
I'm Tom Bowen for the Midland in Longbridge.